Explosions in Tehran. Missiles over Dubai. US military bases under attack. And the world's most powerful leader on camera saying, "Americans may be lost. We may have casualties." It happened. The strike everyone feared, and nobody fully believed would come, just did. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched a coordinated military attack on Iran. And the Middle East will never be the same. In the early hours of Saturday morning, Israel launched what its defense minister called a preemptive strike, planned months in advance, with the launch date decided weeks ago. But here's what makes this different from anything before. This wasn't just Israel. This was a joint US-Israeli operation, coordinated, multi-day, and targeting the heart of Iran. Cities hit: Tehran, Isfahan, Qom, Karaj, Kermanshah, Tabriz. Iranian state media reported that mobile phone lines were cut across Tehran. Internet monitoring agency NetBlocks confirmed Iran was placed under a near-total media blackout. The country went dark. Verified videos from Tehran showed massive plumes of smoke rising above the capital. One witness near the city center said people on the street were looking up at the sky, saying, "They hit it hard. They're saying it's Khamenei's residence." Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, the man who rules the entire country, was not in Tehran. He had been transferred to a secure location. But here's where this story explodes. Because Iran didn't just absorb the hit and go quiet. Iran fired back. Hard. Within hours, Iran's Revolutionary Guards announced the first wave of retaliatory missile and drone strikes. And they didn't aim at Israel alone. They aimed at America. US bases across the entire Gulf region came under attack simultaneously. Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the largest US military facility in the Middle East, targeted by Iranian missiles. Al Dhafra Air Base in the UAE hit. Al Salem Base in Kuwait hit. US 5th Fleet Naval Base in Bahrain, struck by missiles. In Abu Dhabi, a city of millions, residents heard 5 consecutive booms. Windows shook. One civilian was killed by falling missile debris. In Bahrain, a British expat watched a Patriot missile battery intercept an incoming missile right above his head, describing it as really scary. Qatar's defense system shot down an Iranian missile using US-made Patriot interceptors. The US Embassy in Qatar sent a single terrifying instruction to all American citizens: duck and cover. And then, at 4 in the morning, Donald Trump picked up the phone and called the Washington Post. What he said next shocked the world. In a video address, Trump told the American people and the world, "Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating immediate threats from the Iranian regime. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. We are going to destroy their missiles, raze their missile industry to the ground, annihilate their navy." And then, unprompted, he said something that sent chills down the spine of every American with troops in the region. Americans may be lost. We may have casualties. He then addressed Iran's Revolutionary Guard directly. "Lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death." Just days before the strike, a reporter had asked Trump point-blank about the timeline for a decision. His answer? "I'd rather not tell you. You would have had the greatest scoop in history." He knew. He'd already decided. But here's what almost nobody is talking about. Just 2 days before the bombs fell, diplomats were still at the table. On February 26, just 48 hours before the strikes, Iran and the United States held their 3rd round of nuclear talks in Geneva. Oman's foreign minister, who mediated the talks, told CBS News a deal was within reach, describing Iran's proposals as more concessive than even the 2015 nuclear agreement. Iran had offered to permanently eliminate its enriched uranium stockpile. It had offered IAEA verification. It had offered an irreversible downgrade of its nuclear program. And then the bombs fell anyway. Iran's foreign ministry acknowledged it had suspected US and Israeli intentions, but said it had entered negotiations regardless. The Supreme National Security Council called the strike cowardly, happening, in their words, once again during negotiations. Russia's Dmitry Medvedev was blunt. All negotiations with Iran were a cover operation, no one doubted it. No one really wanted to negotiate anything. The global reaction was immediate and divided. Major airlines, Emirates, Lufthansa, British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, Turkish Airlines, Air India, all suspended or cancelled flights to the region within hours. A British Airways flight from London to Doha was turned around mid-flight, depositing 200 passengers back on the tarmac in London. Iraq closed its airspace. Israel closed its airports and schools. Pakistan condemned the attacks and banned its airlines from Iranian airspace. The UK said it was not involved, but activated its emergency Cobra committee. The EU called for maximum restraint. Russia called the strikes reckless and a violation of international law. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina called it the biggest change in the Middle East in 1,000 years. Here is where things stand right now. Iran has promised a crushing response and says it is just beginning. US carriers, bases, and thousands of American troops remain in the crosshairs across the Gulf. Khamenei is in hiding. Tehran is under a blackout. And the world is watching to see if this is a targeted operation or the opening chapter of something far larger. One Jerusalem resident, sheltering for 3 hours in a bomb shelter, put it simply, "I had forgotten how terrible this feels." The Middle East is on fire. The question now is, who, if anyone, puts it out? Stay with us for updates as this story develops. Subscribe and hit the bell, because in a world moving this fast, you cannot afford to miss what comes next.